Yes, another issue in America, another day in America.
And it's interesting. Can you introduce the story? Because I was reading it over, and I was just really surprised that this individual just had a switch just happened to him.
Yeah,
overnight.
it's really interesting. An A&E documentary television series called 60 Days In is basically taking 9 law-abiding citizens to go undercover at Atlanta's Fulton County Jail. And these innocent people who go undercover, they basically are there to reveal what it is to be an inmate. And the reason this story caught my attention, I mean, it's first of all, it's like bringing reality TV to a whole new level. I mean, that's essentially what A&E here is trying to do, which, I mean, I'm not really sure how you might feel about reality TV and bringing it into the prison system. I mean, I'm sure Orange is the New Black probably did something in the vein of like glamorizing what it is to be inside of prisons. So I do have mixed feelings about bringing this onto like a television screen. But what's really interesting about this and why this actually caught my attention and I wanted to share about it was a police officer from Texas named Alan was one of the innocent participants. And when he came out 8 weeks later, he quit the force and became a car salesman.
It must have been very traumatizing what he saw.
8 weeks.
And the thing is, look, we have a really messed up prison system in this country, especially with the for-profit prison industry, because they tout that they have the best system, when in reality what they do is they get the most, healthy prisoners, and they don't have to worry about taking care of them.
Right.
They don't have to take care of the ones that are in there for a long time or have other physical issues.
Yeah. There's so much I found about that very thing, of course. And this Alan guy from Texas, a former police officer, says, I couldn't go to bed at night knowing that if I stopped somebody with a little dime bag of weed and I were to arrest them and put them in a place like that, I wouldn't be able to live with myself, he said. You know what else?
You know what else is fun? I don't want to keep on chiming in, but I just find it funny.
You can chime in as much as you want. You are my co-host.
But it's like Daniel, me, Paul, we've all talked about how the war on drugs is stupid. And that there's a lot of innocent men and women in jail for holding a bag of weed. And they shouldn't be in jail.
A lot of people of color for holding a bag of weed.
And the thing is that
I know plenty of white people who've been caught with weed and not.
Yes, that is true. That is very true. And the thing is that you have a lot of innocent people in jail, and the system that's in prison right now, what we have, makes people worse. It's designed to eat people alive. It's designed to make them worse. And the thing is that weight on his conscience. He probably ran into some innocent people, some guys who just had a bag of weed, no criminal record, and now they're stuck in a system in which they have to survive every single minute.
And I kept trying to get details on what happened, but I think it's because it's a TV show. They don't like spill the beans, Right. And so, but just pointing to what you were saying a little bit ago, like about the kind of environment you get put into and how you get treated. Emmanuel, who is one of the participants, got into a shouting match with one of the corrections officers, who was reluctant to help Emmanuel after he complained that there was blood and mucus in his cell from the previous inmate. He said, quote, that it was a common pattern with the corrections officers that it would be challenging that it's a pattern with the corrections officers that it takes challenging just being belligerent in order for them to give you respect. Mm-hmm. So Emmanuel said on the show, it's sad. They'll respond to you cursing at them, you yelling at them. And honestly, that doesn't help the inmates that are in here when they go out because they know they can just get something by yelling.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, our prison system is not there to reform people. That is not our number one goal. And what we always see is the recidivism rate coming back. I think it's in the 80s.
No,
is our recidivism rate?
I think it's higher than that.
Is it?
Well, because
I read that recidivism rate like years ago.
I think it's so much worse than with every administration going on. I mean, granted, there's only one small caveat I could take away that's unrelated. I can't help but think of, and I really hope J.B. Pritzker and his campaign or his administration followed through with it, and that is in Illinois, January 1st, 2020, we're going to have legalized cannabis by the recreational level. And the thing is that in the bill that was passed in the Illinois State Senate and House, there is a provision in which 800,000 individuals, all the cases will be looked at individually, have a chance to be pardoned and get out of the system.
Is it 8,000?
800,000.
800,000. Okay, I thought you said 8,000. Sorry.
No, it's not 8,000. It was 800,000.
I was like, I thought it was way more.
No. It was 800,000. I apologize if I did say 8,000, but it's 800,000. And the thing is like, you think about the lives that people lose because of the war on drugs, and that probably waited on that cop's mind. Like, I probably ruined some people's lives, and I don't want to do it any further.
I mean, it's all by design, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you really think about it, it's like, black and brown people being arrested for silly things like marijuana possession, and then they go in, and then the Republicans turn around, and even conservative Democrats turn around and say, where are the fathers? Well, they're in jail, dude. Yeah. And they're figuring out a way to get by, and their families are getting sucked for every dime because now they've lost some income, and long distance rates are like $5 a minute.
I think it's more than that.
Oh, it's definitely more than that.
But it's just, and even having the creature comforts of home or being with your friends and loved ones. I mean, it's like you're in a system that is designed to consume you.
Yeah.
And this is the United States, and this is why people are now changing their opinion on the war on drugs. This is why people are realizing, because we have a growing opioid crisis in this country, and it's going to impact everyone. We have a prison industrial complex that's designed to have free labor, and the thing is, I thought we ended slavery here in the United States, but no, it's the prison industrial complex. They're able to provide free labor. They're not getting paid, but these are human beings, and it's easy to understand why Senator Bernie Sanders said that prisoners should have the right to vote, and they should be reintegrated. Think about this too. And this is on an unrelated note, but for those California wildfires that hit the state all the time, you want who's on the front line? The prisoners, especially the men and women who are firefighters and risking their lives to put out those fires. But when they get out of jail, they can't become firemen. They can't. Even though they learned that skill set, even though that they're on the front line, even though they know what to do. They lose that opportunity. They don't have that privilege. They don't have the ability to make themselves better, because I remember hearing the whole mythos around prisons that, oh, wait, you go to jail, you come out, become a better person, to reform you. No, that's not true at all. The system is designed to keep free labor in. The system is designed to profit off the war on drugs. The system is designed to ruin people's lives. And this cop had a change of heart. So good on him. Yeah. And just, a little more information for people to chew on before we move on to the next story. Yeah. At one point in this report, I read that foreign countries had put holes on extraditions as they consider whether or not our prison system is humane enough. So it's like super embarrassing, right? And so then I was like, well, let me find an example of this, right? And just last year, a British appeals court rejected demands from the U.S. government for the extradition of an accused British hacker, citing the inability of the U.S. prisons to humanely and adequately treat medical and mental health ailments. Yeah. This is America. Gotta love it, I guess. Number one. Always number one.